Whoa! Welcome to the Treasure Tree Therapy Planters Podcast. I'm your host, Master Cheeze. You're in for another good one. As always, we're going to start off with some injuries shaking up in the NFL with a couple surprises. Then we're going to progress to the Chicago Bears. Yes, indeed, a lot of energy. Then we're going to progress and talk a little bit about Draymond Green and some issues that's going on throughout the NBA. Touch on the in-season tournament with the NBA and focus on LeBron James with a little bit of Salt Bay NBA. Stay tuned. You'll be in for a good one. You don't want to miss it. To the Treasure Tree Therapy Planners Podcast. Again, I'm your host, Master Cheeze. We're going to start off with some injuries shaking off throughout the league. Justin Jefferson will be the topic of today. He appears he came back last week from a hamstring injury. He was on IR battling back, but he had to exit the game with a chest injury. It actually resulted in a hospital visit, but it appears that everything is okay and the worst is behind him. He's questionable leading into his upcoming matchup against the Cincinnati Bengals. So we'll see what he does with that. And then we're going to touch on an up-and-coming Rookie of the Year candidate, also potential MVP candidate, C.J. Stroud of the Houston Texans. It appears he left Sunday's game with a head injury, also known as a concussion. It says, welcome to the NFL present. Concussions are common, especially with the amount of force being distributed throughout the league, head hunting. But C.J. Stroud ended up with a concussion, and he'll have to clear the NFL's concussion protocol as he prepares to play next weekend or this weekend. And then, hold on, wait a minute. It's a chopper. We got breaking news, okay? Breaking news coming out of the Cleveland Browns organization. It appears that safety Grant Delpit from the Cleveland Browns has experienced a groin injury. The groin injury will put him on injury reserve and ending his play for the rest of the season. With playoff hopes, maybe he might be able to come back. But I want to deep dive into this injury because it's something that I like to reflect on with Treasure Tree Therapy. Grant Delpit is a safety. He's up and coming. He actually just signed a big contract for 3 years, $36 million. So he signed a $36 million contract these past weeks, and he ended up with a groin injury. Now, looking at reflecting on his history as we look at the tape, back in 2020, he experienced an Achilles tear, ending his season pretty maturely. He had to rehab and he came back. And then in 2021, he kind of dealt with a little hamstring injury coming back from the Achilles injury, which is kind of common from dealing with season-ending injuries, especially with that tendon. That slack is going to be giving up or the hamstrings are going to kind of make up for the lack in the ankle with the Achilles. But then earlier this year, he had to sit out in late November with a leg injury. It didn't really seem like a big deal as he continued to play throughout the year. And this past Sunday, as he played the Jaguars, he pulled his groin. Now, I went and I did some research and I looked into the play and I looked to see what the injury was. Now, when you read articles, it kind of uses Myles Garrett as the cause for the collision of the groin injury occurring. But I'm going to show you all the replay. Looking at the replay, he actually pulls his groin while jumping. So that force that he used to kind of jump late in fourth quarters, again, weather's changing, getting a little colder. He had a hard time with this play. He jumps and he pulls his groin off the jump. The collision doesn't seem like it was the cause of it, but it might have, been a little bit of supporting damage. But he pulls his groin on the jump. Now, someone coming back from Achilles injury, hamstring injury, thigh injury, These injuries kind of start to build up, especially after you finish with a season-ending surgery. That the collision is a little bit minor in comparison to the jump. Watching the tape, he jumps and he pulls his groin in the air. Seeing how those forces are being distributed, I'm not sure where his neurological compensations are coming from, but at the young age, being in his mid-20s, being late in the fourth quarter, based off my experience, these are how these injuries start to continue down the line. Neurological compensations are very common when you are coming back from injury, especially dealing with surgery with the knife. A couple podcast weeks ago, we talked about the word of the day, and the word of the day was surgery. There is a lot of neurological damage that is done through surgery that needs to be addressed, and rehab is important. Getting the muscle strong, getting the tendon strong is a very big deal. But we have to also look at the neurological aspect. This is a prime example of a great kid who's battling back, who just signed a major big deal. You know, $36 million ain't nothing to really laugh at. Yeah, so looking at it, looking at the groin pull, it's just kind of interesting when you see how well the staff has been able to take care of him, getting him back from his Achilles injury, and now is resulting in him being out during the most crucial time of the year. As we reflect on this, how this injury is going to affect the Cleveland Browns, as we discuss the Bears later on in the segment. So good luck to him. Hopefully all is well as the Cleveland Browns suffer another blow. They lost Nick Chubb and they also lost Deshaun Watson. And as we look at those, the quarterback position seems to be having a tough time getting through the season. Just wanted to point out a couple injuries that face out throughout the league at the quarterback position. And these are a couple names that you may be familiar with that have been injured this year, and they were at the starting position, okay? Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow, Deshaun Watson, Kirk Cousins, Anthony Richardson, Kenny Pickett, Daniel Jones, Ryan Tannehill, Aaron Rodgers. These are people at the quarterback position experience season-ending injuries. And so it's a little bit weird and it's a little bit telling, but the quarterback position seems to be looking like the running back position. And these guys need to improve their rehab protocols a little bit more. I know injuries, not all injuries can be prevented, but there seems that there can be a little bit more to kind of keep these guys healthy, as these are all starting quarterbacks who have been hurt this season, this year. So as we move from there, we're going to progress until the Chicago Bears. Ugh. Get you some. Exciting win, very impressive win. The Chicago Bears took on the Detroit Lions this past Sunday, and they came out with a victory. So throw your dubs up. You know, they don't really look like my fantasy team because my fantasy team did not make the playoffs, although we did win, but we're going to progress forward. The Chicago Bears were able to knock off the division-leading Detroit Lions by the score of 28-13. Good guys. Justin Fields showed some very positive signs. Looking at his stats, Justin Fields went 19 for 33, 223 yards throughout the air, a touchdown throughout the air, and he also put 58 yards on the ground with one touchdown. The most impressive stat through all of that is he had 0 turnovers. That is mistake-free football that puts you in position to win games. The game wasn't down to a last-second field goal. It was a very sound win for the Chicago Bears, and it's showing growth with Justin Fields. A very important play that I want you all to show is this play here. Early in the game, first quarter, Justin Fields sliding through the pocket, and he's very shifty. He's moving around the pocket, but if you look at his hand positioning, the ball secured and it's tight, and he's working on his ball security. He's able to come through and make a play happen. This is what you need out of your franchise quarterback. These are the kind of plays that trickle and they get you down the line winning these kind of games. This is a very big game. This is a playoff caliber team that you are able to knock off. It's not just a regular win. It's a very big win. In addition, it's another divisional win. With these divisional wins, as we continue to rack up, Justin Fields is showing his growth. His mechanics look a little stronger. They look smoother, and he seems a little bit more confident. In addition to that, he's still hesitating to run first, and he's still looking to throw downfield, but he's making things happen with his legs. I know Russell Wilson is not as good as he was back then, but one of the biggest attributes Russell Wilson had with defenses had to pay attention to was his ability to run. Having Justin Fields' ability to run is going to help the Bears offense stay very dynamic. They might have to keep a QB spy down. You got to account for the quarterback now, which will help open up down the field where you can't drop 8 guys in coverage. So very big growth, very big steps of development for Justin Fields, and very positive sign for him. And we're going to play the tune like we always play after a nice Bears win. Go ahead.
Chicago Bears, put up a fight with the might so fearlessly.
All right, but from there, as the season has been going on, we've always been talking about Justin Fields or the quarter or the coach. We've been talking about Justin Fields or the coach. Justin Fields or the coach, one or the other. Both have to get better, and both need to stay for another year. And from Justin Fields, we're going to look at Eberflus, the head coach for the Chicago Bears. He's taking over responsibilities for the defensive play calling, and the results have been nothing but positive. This is what the Bears need. Looking at the stats, coming from 3 divisional wins, all resulting in dubs, and he is a defensive-minded coach, and he's starting to show why he is such. He's been doing the play calling, coming off the bye week, and the Bears defense has tremendously improved. Looking at some of the stats, the Chicago Bears are top 2 in rushing defense at the moment. They're not giving up a lot of yards. At number 1 is the 49ers. That's good company to be in because the 49ers traditionally have a good defense. But another important stat is to look at the Bears' turnovers. The Bears on the defensive end have been able to force 12 turnovers in the last 3 games. That's 4 turnovers a game. That's huge when you're looking at defensive statistics. Being able to cause turnovers takes possessions away from your opponent and puts the ball in your playmaker's hands like Justin Fields. Eberflus is showing that he is a quality coach, maybe not the best offensive coach. Maybe a different offensive coordinator can be used, but right now the ship is going in the right direction. Eberflus needs to be considered a little bit, given some more leash or given some more leeway because he's doing positive things right now. Sources are telling me that there's potential for Harbaugh from the Michigan Wolverines to kind of come over, but we kind of need to put those talks away and give him an opportunity to continue to prove himself and show what he can do for the Chicago Bears. A lot of continuity going on in the locker room, and it's nice to see something you're familiar with. That way you don't have to start all the way over year in and year out. So very important fact for that. In addition to Justin Fields, one thing I will note is that he was able to change his cadence up, showing me that his IQ was improving. On his touchdown to DJ Moore, he changes the cadence. He knows a blitz is coming. He catches the defense off guard and throws a touchdown over the top. This is IQ, and this is what you need from your quarterback. Similar to Aaron Rodgers, where he would go no huddle and catch him off guard with 12 men on the field. IQ play is very important from the quarterback position, and Justin Fields is showing that he's making that progression. So I look forward to see what he can do coming up in this matchup with the Cleveland Browns. Now, if a lot of you Bear fans know, this is a big game for us because it helps our playoff chances, and there's some history with the Cleveland Browns.
The trigger, he's delaying, he sees the hard action, and he just green dogs.
In fact, September 2021 was Justin Fields' first official start that season with the Chicago Bears. And it was a terrible one. We were the Chicago Bears. It was a terrible game if you reflect on it. Just going to tap on some history. Justin Fields had a terrible game. He had a hard time going up against one of the NFL's leading defenses. In that game, Justin Fields was sacked 9 times. Crazy stat. It was an NFL record. Myles Garrett had a field day with our line. But now Justin Fields, coming from that, he's shown a lot of growth, and now he has a chance to get some revenge. Revenge is the word of the day. Revenge. We need some revenge, okay? Chicago Bears, Justin Fields are going to have to go into the Cleveland Browns Stadium, and they're going to have to pull out a W against that defense and against that offense. It's a very big game because it keeps our playoff hopes alive, and it shows if we can play these caliber teams in the playoffs as well. Justin Fields can show his growth through this game, and I look forward to seeing what he does throughout the air and on the ground. So this game coming up is going to be a revenge game for Justin Fields, and it'll give us the opportunity to see if we should keep the draft pick that we may have or maybe possibly trade it away for more draft picks. Only time will tell. And now we're going to progress to a little bit of Salt Bay NBA. We're going to focus on LeBron James. But before we focus on LeBron James, I want to talk about a little bit about the in-season tournament. And before we talk about the in-season tournament, I want to talk about Draymond Green. Now, I know Draymond Green is known by many as being the person who can't score or the defensive player or, whatever you want to say about Draymond Green. Honestly, I was a very big fan of Draymond Green very, very early in the career. Seeing his play style, seeing his desire, seeing his passion on the defensive end is what helped the Golden State Warriors win a lot of those championships. Without him, I don't think, regardless of how much Steph Curry can score or Klay Thompson can hit threes, without Draymond Green's leadership and defensive presence, they win those championships. Even before he got snubbed for his Defensive Player of the Year, or even before he got his Defensive Player of the Year, I was a fan of Draymond Green. But now things are getting a little bit different for Draymond Green. It seems that the integrity of the game is being lost in his passion for winning. I know Draymond Green is a very passionate individual, very tough-nosed, hard-nosed individual, because that's what got him in the NBA. Similar to like a Patrick Beverley, but these are the players that you have to live with the results of what they give you on and off the court. Now, for Draymond Green, it can be said that he may need to be suspended for the entire season. I'm not here to say that. I'm just saying this. I don't know what Draymond Green's going through, but he needs to get back to basketball. Basketball needs to stay within the lines. We need to keep these kind of acts and these plays not in the game, especially being with his acts in the community. Kids look up to Draymond Green, and I hopefully, whatever he's dealing with cannot show up in games like this where you're turning around, throwing what looks to appear as a punch. Draymond Green is a Hall of Famer, and I want his career to continue to be a Hall of Fame career. And without these side skits and these jokes about him being a very violent player. So hopefully Draymond Green can clean that up and we can just play basketball. Now we progress from Draymond Green. We're going to talk about the NBA in-season tournament. Okay. Congratulations to the Indiana Pacers for making it to the first in-season tournament championship. Unfortunately, they took an L, just like my fantasy football team. But they also took a W, like my other fantasy football team. They end up going home with $250,000 in a loss. But congratulations to the Indiana Pacers. Not a lot of winning has been coming from that side of town. A lot of the fan base has been looking for Indiana to get more support. I will try to cover a little bit more of the Purdue in the future, but congratulations to the Indiana Pacers on that achievement. Pacers had to face the Los Angeles Lakers in the in-season tournament championship. Now, the game was one-sided at best. The Lakers dominated throughout the game. Indiana Pacers were no match for LeBron James, Anthony Davis teamwork. Looking at the stats, LeBron James ended with 24 points, 11 rebounds, and 4 assists. In addition to that, he also had 6 turnovers. But we'll talk about those turnovers on the back end. But congratulations to LeBron James, who also was awarded the NBA MVP in-season tournament trophy.
The last trophy, the MVP cup for outstanding play throughout the entire tournament, to a man who, frankly, there's nothing else to win in this league. The only thing I could say, I'm sorry, but it doesn't come with a franchise. LeBron James, the MVP.
This is history for him once again, as he's already surpassed the points history. And he's doing something that no one, even Michael Jordan, has never done. Although Michael Jordan could not win it because it wasn't in existence, LeBron James just continues to make history, and that's just contributed to his career. His career has been with a lot of ups and downs, but overall, you can't touch LeBron James when it comes to accolades and achievements.
About us coming together and winning this thing. This is the inauguration of the in-season tournament. It's something like records will be broken, but one thing that will never be broken is to be the first to do something. And we're the first champions of the in-season tournament, and nobody can ever top that. And it's great to be able to do it with such a historical franchise.
There's still more work that he can do. We'll see what he does. But as I discussed, the 6 turnovers, LeBron James is an older gentleman. He's been in the league for a very long time. And his birthday is coming up pretty soon. He's knocking on almost 40. And he's still playing basketball at a very high level. If you look at the in-season tournament game, the championship game, you could tell he was a little bit winded. That's a very high-intensity game. That's a very competitive game. And that's one game, LeBron James' goal is to win another championship. And seeing his fatigue set in a little bit is showing his father time's catching up to him. But I'm not here to say that LeBron James can't do it. He's already done enough of proving us wrong. I'm saying that LeBron James will benefit from neurological interventions. These neurological interventions can help LeBron James sustain what he's doing and play a little bit longer, keeping his fatigue down and his neurological compensations down as well. When you clear out these neurological compensations, it actually improves your proprioception and decreases your fatigue. This is something I've been doing for a very long time, going on a decade now. And this might be foreign to a lot of you all, but it's just something I've been paying attention to for a very long time. And I hope LeBron James can muster up enough of energy to kind of get through the season healthy, as I would like to see a competitive playoff series with the Lakers versus whoever he has to go up against. So, kudos to LeBron James on winning that in-season championship, but hopefully he can continue to do what he's doing. He's improved his three-point percentage. His form looks beautiful, very balanced on the shots. I know he experienced a growing injury and some ankle injuries in the past years. So hopefully he can keep those things at bay.
Now LeBron the other way. Oh my gosh.
Heat check.
But that's all I got for today. Again, if you would like more information, you can check out the TreasureTreeTherapy.com website. You can also follow me on Instagram at TreasureTreeTherapy.com for more information. But it's a wrap for today. It's nice, chilly. I think I might go work out. But on that note, Treasure Tree Therapy, planting seeds today for future generation success.